Good morning. Today we shall discuss discrete time, signals and systems. So the topic is discrete time, signal and system. So we shall start with the signal. How can we define a signal? A signal can be defined as a function that conveys information about the state or physical behavior of a system. Means signal can be defined as a function that conveys information about the state or physical behavior of a system. Mathematically, signal can be defined a signal can be defined as function of one or more independent variables. If a signal is represented by one independent variable, then we call it as 1D signal. So 1D signal having one independent variable. Example is speech signal. If independent variable is 2 or a function is represented by 2 independent variable, then we call it as two-dimensional signal, 2D signal. Example, 2 independent variable. Example is picture signal. Okay. Normally in 1D signal we have 2 dimension, right? But based on the independent variable we define the signal as 1D or 2D. As a convention, one of the independent variable is time. Time is taken as one of the independent variable compulsorily. So in 1D dimensional signal, independent variable is time. In 2-dimensional signal, one of the independent variable is time. Now come to the classification of signal. Now we have talked about the independent variable as time. So this independent variable may be discrete or continuous. If based on this classification, signal can be classified. So first of all, comes continuous time signal. Continuous time signals are those signals which are defined at continuum of time. For example, the graphical representation of this signal, suppose xt is a continuous time signal. Independent variable is time. Suppose it is like this signal, right? This is continuous time signal. Why? Because x-axis is continuum of time. It is defined at, the value of signal is defined at each and every point of this axis. So we call it as continuous time signal. Now next is discrete time signal. Next is discrete time signals. Discrete time signal. Since continuous time signals are defined at discrete instant of time, therefore it is represented by continuous variable function. So it is represented by continuous variable function. Now come to the discrete time signal. Discrete time signals are those signals which are defined at discrete instant of time. Means we have to discretize this axis. Then the signal will become a discrete time signal. So the graphical representation of, suppose the same signal, we discretize by putting xt is equal to nt. Means xt x n capital T. So this axis will become nt, and sometimes we call it as n also. Okay. Now see, so this axis is discretized 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are the discrete, and its integer value. It can take the integer number values only. So discrete time signals are defined at only discrete instant of time. It is undefined between the two successive intervals, or it is undefined between the two between the intervals of two values of n. So therefore discrete time signals are nothing but the sequence, because it can take this value 0, it can take, suppose this value is 1, suppose this value is 2, suppose this value is 3, and so on. So discrete time signals are nothing but the sequences, number of sequences, and therefore they are represented by discrete function of variables. Now next is based on the independent variable. There is another signal which is called digital signal. Digital signal. Now, as its name, it can take only two values, right? Here, discrete time signals having continuous amplitude and discrete time axis. But if we discretize, before digital and discrete signal, we have to process, there is a quantized signal, and after getting quantized signal, we can get the digital signal. So digital, there is a difference between the discrete and digital signal. So briefly, I am differentiating by discretizing the y-axis of discrete time signal. discretize? It depends upon how many bits is required to code a sample. Suppose we use 3, we want to code by 3 bit. So number of discretization level is 2 to the power 3. 2 to the power n is equal to 2 to the power 3 is equal to 8. So it starts with 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? So 8 discrete level. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Since it has been started with since it is started with 6 and 7. Okay. So we have discretized this axis by number of levels as determined by the number of bit required to code a sample. So here in case of 3 bit we discretize this into 8 levels, 0 to 7. Now this signal with this is become discrete. This becomes discrete time and discrete amplitude. Signal. Now while mapping this signal into this discretized axis both, we have to make one assumption that if this sample lies more than half of a particular level, then it will occupy either this grid or this grid. If it is more than half, then it will occupy upper level. If it is less than half, then it will occupy lower level. So this here we can make a grid. Right? Now actual value of this sample is 0, so it will occupy this level. But right, this. Now this sample is again touching this more than half, so it will occupy this level. Now this sample is again having a level 4, so it will occupy this level. Here also complete level. Suppose this sample it is less than half of 3.5, so it will occupy or it will take a value of 3. Here more than half, so it will take a value of 2. It is less than half, so it will take this value. It is more than half, so it will take this value. Here it is equal to half, so it can go either up or down. So suppose we have taken up. Here more than half, so we will take this. And here more than half, so we will take. Now this signal which is marked yellow here, this signal is known as quantized signal. This signal is called quantized signal. So the quantization is a process which converts a discrete amplitude and discrete time signal in which amplitude is continuous, converted into discrete time and discrete amplitude signal. And this quantized signal is very important because it is very close to the digital one. How can we convert this into? Because we have made certain assumption that if falls below, then it will occupy lower level, and if it is more than half, then it will occupy upper level. So there is some error, and we call it as quantization error. This error is due to the process itself. It is created in the sequence because of the quantization process, and one can reduce this error by increasing the number of bits. Right? So we don't have to bother about this quantization error. Now come to the topic that how this signal differs from digital signal. So in this case, because digital is having two states, so we have to only code this signal. Okay, so suppose BCD, binary coded decimal, we opted binary coded decimal. So I write here code for 0, 0, 0, 0. Here code is 0, 0, 1. Here 0, 1, 0. Here code is 0, 1, 1. 1, 0, 0. Then 1, 0, 1. 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1, 1. So instead of sending this sample, we will send 1, 0, 0. So it is having only two levels, 0 and 1. Here also the value is 1, 1, 0. Any value, any sample if we take and read the corresponding value is 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0. It is completely binary. It is having only two states. So we call it as digital signal. So discrete signals are slightly different than the digital signal. The similarity is independent variable. Independent variable is discrete, but y-axis is discretized. In case of digital signal, we are having only two level, 0 and 1. In case of discrete signal, there are more than two levels. We call it as discrete signal. So we have seen classification of signal, continuous time signal, then discrete time signal, then digital signal. Now, since signal contains information, so it must be processed to extract the information. Now, since signal contains information, so it must be processed to facilitate extraction of information from the signal. Therefore, signal processing techniques are required. So, what is the need of signal processing? Signal contains information. Signal contain information. So it is required to extract information. Therefore, signal processing is required. Right? If signal is analog signal means continuous time signal. If signal is analog signal, we call it analog signal processing, and we call it as analog signal processing. And if signal is discrete, then we call it as discrete signal processing. And if digital signal is digital in nature, then we call it as digital signal processing. Right? So signal processing is what is signal processing? Actually, These are the techniques of transformation of signal in one domain into the another domain. So techniques are signal processing, they are based on the technique or based on the transformation of signal from one domain to another domain. And since it contains information, informations are in some pattern, in some known pattern, in some unknown patterns, informations are there in the signal. So we have to extract that pattern. Therefore processing is required. Okay. Now based on the nature, on the same line of classification of signal, discrete time systems are also classified. So next is classification of discrete time systems. Discrete time system or classification of system. If suppose this is a system, if input and this is output, input and this is output, if input and output both are analog in nature, then we call it as, if input and output signals are analog or continuous time signals, we call it as analog system. So analog system are those systems having input and output both are analog signal. On the same line we can define a discrete system, input and output, right? So discrete time systems are those systems in which input and output both are discrete in nature. If input and output are digital in nature, then we call it as digital system. So on the basis, on the same line as classification of signals, we can classify the system. Discrete time system, continuous time system, discrete time system and digital system. All these classifications are based on the independent variable as time. Be careful. There are many classifications of the signal, but here since we are focusing over the discrete time signal processing, so we focused over the classification based on the independent variable as time. Now, what are the advantage of digital signal processing or discrete signal? Why we do these? Because hardware implementation is very easy. If we convert the analog signal into discrete time signal or digital time signal, then hardware implementation of the problem at hand is very simple. It can be realized by personal computer. It can also we can also simulate the analog system, or you can say that simulation of transformation technique becomes very easy, which is very difficult in time domain, analog continuous time domain. Therefore we go or we opt the digital signal processing or discrete time signal processing. So these are the few and very important advantages of discrete or digital signal processing. Now we shall see the types of discrete time signals. Now here onward we call discrete time signal as sequence. what? Sequence. Why? Because discrete time signal is nothing but sequence of numbers. Suppose I plot a discrete sequence xn, signal xn. Okay, 1, 2, 1.5 and this is 1.9, right? Other values are suppose 0. This is plot of a sequence xn. Now I want to represent this sequence. So put a curly bracket, 1, 2.5, 1.9. Okay, and I put a arrow here. Means the representation, how can we plot on the basis of this to this graphical representation? Arrow indicates the origin. Origin is having amplitude 1. So amplitude 1, right? Now next duration is 1, 0, 1. So this is n is equal to 0, n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2, n is equal to 3. So in 1 it is having value 2, it is at 2 it is having value 0.5, 3 it is having value 1.9. Therefore it is nothing but number of sequence. Hence onwards, instead of discrete time signal, we call it as sequence. So this is one example of graphical representation of sequence. So general definition of discrete time signal: unit sample sequence. It is represented by delta n. In continuous time domain, there is a sequence which is analogous to this unit sample sequence is delta t. We call it as unit impulse signal. Here we call it as unit sample sequence. So as its name, this sequence is having only one sample, and mathematically it is defined as delta n is equal to 1 at n is equal to 0, and it is 0 when n is not equal to 0. Graphical representation of delta n is like this. Value is 1. Other values 0. So you should mark 0 here also. So it shows that it is a discrete sequence. So it is having only one sample which lies at the origin, and no values, no samples on either side of this or either side of origin. In continuous time domain, we can define delta t is equal to 1 at n is equal to 0, and it is 0 when n is not equal to 0. So the role of discrete continuous time unit impulse signal in continuous time domain is same as digital impulse or unit sample sequence in discrete time domain. Now next is unit step sequence, which is also very important sequence. Unit step sequence, UT in continuous time domain. And in discrete time domain, we represent it as UN, the unit step sequence. So the plot of UN is like this. It is having value 1 for n greater than equal to 0. And put dot 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 here, means this values continues up to n tending to infinity, right? So mathematical representation is un is equal to 1 for n greater than equal to 0. Its value is 0 for n less than equal to 0. This is graphical representation of unit step sequence. This sequence is a very important sequence because it is having no negative part. So whenever we want to suppress the negative part of any arbitrary sequence, किसी भी sequence का negative part को हम suppress करना चाहते हैं, then what we do? We multiply that sequence with this unit step sequence. So multiplying by unit step sequence, it suppresses the negative part of samples of the desired sequence. In continuous time domain, UT, role of UT is same as UN, but it is in the discrete time domain, it is in the continuous time domain. And mathematically, it is defined by 1 when t is greater than equal to 0 and it is 0 for t greater than equal to 0, t less than 0, and plot is 1 and unit step ut, t and this will be minus t, 1. Unit step example is DC signal. Any DC signal, it can, when the switch is on, it will give you 1 volt output, 2 volt output. The signal is 2 ut, 5 volt output, 5 ut. Though it is ideal signal, it will take time to reach in the final state. Okay, but we can represent any DC signal by, or we can synthesize any DC signal in terms of unit step signal. Similarly, we can synthesize any DC signal in discrete time domain by unit step sequence. Now, there is a correlation or waveform synthesis between un and delta n. Relation between un and delta n. One can express un in terms of delta n and we can express delta n in terms of un. But before establishing the relation between un and delta n, we must know the shifting operation over the sequence. Okay, so first of all, the shifting operation over the sequence, right? First of all, delta n. Delta this is delta n. Now delta n minus 1. Magnitude is 1, we call it as delta n minus 1. Means if we, here we assume that waveform is moving from minus infinity to plus infinity. n is positive. When n is positive means direction of wave is moving from minus infinity to plus infinity. If we shift towards the plus infinity side or along the direction of wave, then minus sign is there in the representation. What is our assumption? If n is positive or here index is positive means wave is moving from minus infinity to plus infinity. Or if we push this wave towards the plus infinity side, then minus sign is there in the representation. Okay. Suppose I push this by 2 samples, then this will become n minus 2. Okay. Now suppose I push towards the minus infinity side, means opposite to the direction of propagation of wave as per our assumption, then we write it as delta n plus 1. So plus sign is there if we push the wave towards the negative infinity side, or if we push it towards the positive infinity side, then minus is there. If we push towards the negative side, then plus is there in the representation. Okay. Now suppose I asked you to plot these signals n plus 10 and n minus 10. So very first step is equate n plus 10 is equal to 0. So n is equal to minus 10. So this signal is, since it is unit step signal, so it is only having one value at n is equal to 10. So suppose this is 10, so it is having a value 1 and we call it as delta n minus 10, right? And here 0. Here also put 0. So this is the plot of this sequence. Suppose I want to plot this sequence. So put n plus 10 is equal to 0. So n is equal to minus 10. Means this sequence will start at n is equal to minus 10. It is having value 1, right? And we call it as delta n plus 10. Right? This is shifting operation over the impulse. Same concept is applied to another type of sequence also. But what will happen, how our assumption will change if this will be minus. Okay. So come to the part when index is negative. When index is negative, delta minus n. So now in this case our assumption is just opposite. Wave is moving from here minus infinity to plus infinity. Here wave is moving from plus infinity and towards minus infinity. So along the direction of shifting is taken as minus along the direction of motion, wave motion. Minus sign will be there in the representation and plus opposite to the direction of wave motion. Since here only one sample, so it is very difficult to discriminate this rule. But in case of unit step or any arbitrary sequence, this concept, this assumption will be very clear, which we will see later on. So plot of delta minus n is same as delta n. Why? Because minus n is equal to 0 or n is equal to 0. So it is this sample will occur at n equal to 0. Now suppose I shifted minus 2, 1 and 3, minus 3. Here also 1, 2 and 3. Right? Now this is delta minus n because it is given minus n. But shifting is along the direction. So minus along the direction of wave motion. So there should be minus. So minus 2. So minus n minus 2, this is represented by this circle. Now you can recheck. How? Suppose I asked you to plot minus n minus 2. So first of all, what you will do? Minus n minus 2 is equal to 0. So n is equal to 2. Minus 2. Minus n is equal to minus 2. So n is equal to 2. N is equal to, sorry, minus 2. So sample will occur at n is equal to minus 2. So it is very simple. Since index is negative, so if we push the sample towards this direction, minus infinity, so in the representation there will be minus. If we push opposite to the wave motion towards, and wave is moving in this direction, then there should be plus. So 1, 2, minus 1, minus 2. So in this case, this shifting we call it as delta minus n plus 2. Why plus 2? Because minus n indicates that wave is moving towards the minus infinity side, and we have pushed opposite to the wave motion by 2 units. So plus 2. Now suppose I asked you to plot delta n plus minus n plus 2. So at the starting, what you will do? You just equate minus n plus 2 is equal to 0. So n is equal to 2. So the sample will occur at 2, and we call it as delta n plus 2. Shifting operation is over delta n. So the base value is minus n. Plus 2, minus 2. Plus 1, minus 2. Right? So since here only one sample, then there is little bit confusion. But we apply the same assumption over the unit step sequence. Then it should be very clear. So shifting operation over unit step sequence. Then we will correlate, establish delta n in terms of un or un in terms of delta n. So the shifting operation over unit step sequence. Okay. So first of all, we plot a unit step sequence. Un value is 1. Be careful, in discrete time system, these interval of time is always regular interval of time, because we discretize t is equal to nt, where n is integer. So it is always integer multiple, 1, 2, 3, 4, and these are the regular interval of time. While later on you will find that hardware implementation by periodically sample a continuous time signal is very easy. Therefore, these are normally regular interval of time. Now come to the topic shifting operation over the unit step sequence. Right? This is minus I. Now suppose here one should draw dot dot dot, means this one is continuing towards the plus infinity side. Now suppose so here un minus 2. Why minus 2? Because the whole unit step sequence is shifted by 2 unit towards the positive infinity side, because n is positive. So as per our convention, wave is moving from minus infinity to plus infinity side. So along the direction of wave propagation, minus is there. In the opposite direction of wave propagation, it is positive in the representation. So here minus means we have shifted towards the plus infinity side by 2 unit. Shifted towards this by 2 unit, right? Now suppose I asked you to plot. Okay. Suppose I shift this unit step sample towards the 2 unit on the left hand side, okay, and then it is moving in the opposite side, means not this side, sorry. So this type of shifting of value is 1, it is shifted towards this side and it is moving towards the plus infinity side. So there are 2 types of shifting. Here we write un plus 2 and here we write un minus 2. First thing is that since n is positive, means towards the positive infinity side wave is moving. If it is shifted by 2 unit, minus towards right, and here plus 2 means towards the left, then wave is moving towards the positive infinity side. That means un minus 2. Now suppose I asked you to plot un plus 10 and un minus 11. Then from where you start? You put n plus 10 is equal to 0. So n is equal to minus 10. So in this case, the unit sample sequence will start from n is equal to minus 10. But where it will be moving? Towards the positive or negative? So since this is plus, matlab our wave will be moving towards the plus infinity side. So the plot for, suppose this is n is equal to minus 10. So it starts with this and it will move up to, and we call it as un minus un plus 10. N plus 10, so n is equal to minus 10. It starts from n is equal to 10, but it should move towards the positive infinity side because n is positive. Suppose I want to plot this waveform. So you start with n minus 11 is equal to 0. So n is equal to 11. So this waveform will start at n is equal to 11. And then where it will move, in which direction? Because n is positive. So it will move towards the plus infinity side. So the plot for this is n is equal to 11. Suppose 11 comes here. 11 comes here. So the waveform will start here and then it will and we call it as un minus 11, right? So in this way shifting operation is done. Now another aspect, what will happen if I put u minus n? Now come to the shifting operation over u minus n. So first of all we plot u minus n. Magnitude is 1, but the difference is that it is moving from 0 to minus infinity. Why? Because n is now become minus n. N is now become minus n. So as per the convention, u minus n is moving from plus infinity to minus infinity side. So if we shift the sequence towards the direction of wave propagation, means minus infinity side, then minus will be there in the presentation, in the representation of sequence. So suppose we shift it by 2 unit and wave is moving towards minus infinity, then we call it as, and before n is equal to minus 2, its value is 0. So we call it as u minus n because wave is moving minus infinity side and we have shifted along the direction of propagation of wave, so minus 2. So the plot of graphical representation of u minus 2 is like this. Here all the samples are 0, here samples exist towards the plus minus infinity side, but all are having value 1, minus 3, minus 4 and so on. Okay. Now plus 1, plus 2, plus 3 and so on, plus 4 n, and here minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 and so on. Now suppose I shift this u minus n towards 2 unit towards this side. Okay. And then wave is moving. We shift it because minus n, so this wave must be moving towards the minus infinity side. Either you shift towards right, then it will move towards minus infinity side, or you shift towards left and then it will move towards minus infinity side. Here in this graphical representation, u minus n is shifted towards 2 unit right hand side, but it has to move towards minus infinity. Why? Because index is negative. So I put here dot dot dot, means this wave starts from this point, n is equal to minus 2 and it is moving towards minus infinity, and we call it as graphical representation of u minus n and plus 2. Why plus? Because we have moved this waveform against the motion of wave. Minus infinity, we have moved towards plus infinity side 2 unit, but wave has to move towards the minus infinity side. So we call it, we plot it as u minus n plus 2. Now suppose I ask to plot u minus n plus 10 and u minus n minus 12. Then from where you start? So first of all you put minus n plus 10 is equal to 0. So n is equal to 10. N is equal to 10 means that this particular waveform shifted version of un will start from n is equal to 10, and then where it will move, it because of index is negative, so it will move towards minus infinity side. So suppose this is 10, right? So we call it as u minus n plus 10. Be careful that In any case of shifting, minus n indicates that wave will be moving towards minus infinity side. Now plot of n minus n minus 12. So minus n minus 12 is equal to 0. This is 1, and always put 0 here, so that here it is 1 and this side it is 0. N minus 12 is equal to 0. So n is equal to minus 12. So this waveform is starting from n is equal to minus 12, and it will move. It will has to move towards minus infinite side because of minus sign. So the plot of this waveform is like this. Suppose minus 12 is here. Minus 12 is here. So 1. This is minus n. This is plus n, and put 0 here. So this is nothing but u minus n minus 12. So this is all about the shifting operation over minus n. As per the convention we have opted. Right? Now coming over our topic. What was the topic? Type of signal. What was the topic? Type of signal. So we have discussed two types of signal. One is unit step signal, another is unit sample signal. So types of signal. First is unit sample signal and unit sample sequence, because we were discussing the discrete time signal. So unit sample sequence denoted by delta n, then unit step sequence un. Now third is real exponent sequence. So the real exponential sequence are those sequence xn which is of the form an, where n is an integer and a is real. Okay, so this real sequence, this is not exponential because no j is there, so I should cut it here, or this is real sequence, right? Real exponential, oh, it's correct. Real exponential. Why exponential? I am not saying complex, therefore j will not be there, but real exponential is correct. Sequence. X and A. So the graphical representation is of many forms. It depends upon the sign of A and sign of N. So one of the presentation, one of the plot is like this. Then we put it here, and it can take negative value also. So xn is equal to a to the power n. This is one of the plot. It is having different shape also depending upon the sign of a or n. So this is real exponential sequence. Next is sinusoidal sequence. Fourth is sinusoidal sequence. Sinusoidal sequence is of the form xn is equal to a cos of omega 0 n plus phi. Phi is phase shift. Omega 0 t as in continuous time domain. Here omega 0 n. Right? And the graphical representation is like this. This is xn. Here phase shift is phi. Omega 0 is the frequency of this wave. in discrete time domain, discrete frequency, right? So this is plot of xn and minus n. Now next and very important sequence is periodic sequence. Periodic sequence, a sequence is said to be periodic if and with a period n. A sequence is said to be periodic. A sequence is said to be periodic with a period capital N if and only if xn is equal to xn plus capital N. Here in case of periodic sequence we put tiddle or cap in case of periodic sequence. So a sequence xn is said to be periodic if it repeats itself after n duration of time. So period of this sequence is n. So these are the different types of sequence which are commonly used in DSP, digital signal processing, or discrete time signal processing. Another very important sequence that comes under complex sequence category. 6. Complex exponential sequence. Exponential sequence. It is of the form xn is equal to e to the power sigma plus j omega 0 n. This is complex number. Sigma plus j omega s into n. So complex exponential sequences of this form. Whenever we deal with this sequence, then we analyze. Complex sequences are very important as far as signal processing is concerned because it is having sinusoidal component. Sine cos of sigma plus j omega 0 n plus j times sine of sigma plus j omega 0 n. So complex exponential sequence is having both sinusoidal and cosinusoidal component. So this is all about the type of sequence. Now some arithmetic operations are also performed over the sequence. So what are those operations which are normally performed over the sequence? Suppose x is equal to x, a sequence x, and y is equal to a sequence yn. Right? Now x dot y. Now x dot y is equal to xn dot yn, and we call it as product of, this is a curly bracket. That means that is product of two sequences are nothing but sample by sample product. Sample by sample product. Now what does it mean? Suppose we have sequence xn like this. 1, 1, 1.5, 0. Only 3 samples. 2 samples rather, n and minus n. Another sequence, suppose yn is 2, 2, 2, and it will go up to this thing. So yn. Now xn product yn is equal to sample by sample product. means at n is equal to 0, 2 multiplied by 1 is equal to 2. At n is equal to 1, 1.5 multiplied by 2, 3. So this will be 3. Then here 0. So any value multiplied by 0 is 0. So this x into y having two samples, 2 and 3. So we call the product of two sequences nothing but sample by sample product. Right. Another mathematical operation that has to be performed over the sequences are xn plus yn. That is sum of two sequences are sample by sample sum, are sample by sample sum. Now again it is very clear, same example, and I want to perform xn plus 1 here, right? I want to perform xn plus y here. Now product is, sum is also a sequence. Here also product is also a sequence, right? Now sample by sample sum means 1 plus 2 is equal to 3 at sampling instant 0. At this discrete instant 1, it is 1.5 and 2 is equal to 3.5. So this is 3.5. Now 2 and 0, again it is 2 plus 0 is equal to 2, sorry. So this is 2. Then 0, 0 added with 0 is 0. So sample by sample. Similarly, if we put minus sign, then subtraction of two sequences, sample by sample subtraction. Now another very important, we have to amplify the signal. Okay, so multiply sequence, multiplication of sequence by a constant alpha. Multiplication of a sequence by alpha. Alpha is any number. Then alpha xn, alpha dot xn is nothing but alpha xn. What does it mean? Each and every sample of sequence is multiplied by alpha. If alpha is more than 1, we call that sequence is amplified, and if alpha is less than 1, so we apply the same over this sequence, first sequence. So alpha xn is become, suppose alpha is equal to 2, then 2, 3, 1.5 into 2 is equal to 3, 2, and then 0. So this is, and this operation is very important because it amplifies the whole signal or it attenuates the whole signal. Next come to the arbitrary sequence. Arbitrary sequence, as it name, it can take any value at any sampling instant of time, at any integer value of time. For example, we call it as xn as ordinary sequence, arbitrary sequence. So this, and 0. And suppose it takes the value here, and this is minus this and this. Here the value is 2, this is 1.8, right? This is 1.3, this is 1.5, this is minus 1, this is again 2, and this is suppose 1.5. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, 0, minus n, and this is minus n, and this is plus n. Now this is arbitrary sequence. We can represent this sequence in terms of unit sample sequence. How can we write like this? Xn is equal to 2 delta n. Means if we can see it as a sample having value 2, so 2 times delta n. Now 1.8 can be written as plus 1.8 delta n minus 1. It can be treated as a unit sample which has been shifted by 1 unit here. So we call it as 1.8 is the scaling factor of this multiplied by n minus 1. So 2 is a scaling factor of delta n, 1.8 is a scaling factor of delta n minus 1. If we add these two, then we will get the 2 sample of Xn. Now similarly we can write 1.3 delta n minus 2. Okay. Then plus 2 delta n minus 3. Now come to this side, minus 1. So plus 1.5 1.5 delta n plus 1, right? Here minus 1, why? Because the amplitude is negative. Delta n minus n plus 2, 1, and then plus 1.5 delta n plus 3, right? So in this way any arbitrary sequence can be represented by sum of scaled and delayed unit sample sequence. Why scaled? Because each sample is scaled by some factor depending upon the arbitrary sequence, and unit sample sequence are shifted accordingly and then added with the previous sample. Therefore we call it as any arbitrary sequence. Any arbitrary sequence can be represented as sum of scaled and delayed unit sample sequence, right? And in general we can write Xn is equal to summation some dummy variable k is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x k or delta n minus k. This is very important representation of any arbitrary sequence. See, what is xk? Xk is obtained from the sequence. When k is equal to 3, x3 means at n is equal to 3, what will be the value of sequence? 2. So this will become 2, and n minus 3, k is equal to 3, so n minus 3, this, right? So then if k is equal to 0, then x0 scaling factor is 2 and the sequence is delta n. Therefore we can say that any arbitrary sequence can be represented by sum of scaled and delayed unit sample, or rather one can write any arbitrary sequence can be represented as sum of product of its scaled and delayed unit sample sequence. Now it is correct. Sum of product of scaled and delayed unit sample sequence. So this relation is very important for further discussion. Now one thing is left. I have to correlate, I have to establish a relation between delta n and un as well as un and delta n. Delta n. How delta n is related with un. Right? So in order to establish this relation, suppose we plot un. Right? So un is 1, 1, 1 graphical representation. This side it is 0 minus n. Now I shift this sequence by 1 unit towards right hand side. So now instead of starting with 0, it starts with n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 and it will go up to infinity plus n. And here 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. This is minus n. And we call this sequence as un minus 1. Now next operation I would like to perform is un minus 1. Subtraction of two sequences, sample by sample subtraction. So here 1 minus 1, sorry, here value is 0. So 1 minus 0 is equal to 1. This is 1 minus 0 is equal to 1. Now this side 1 minus 1 is 0. 1 minus 1 is 0. 1 minus 1 0. And here since there is no sample, so again it is 0. So subtraction of this sequence result in a unit sample sequence. A sequence having only one sample at origin. So with this example, we can write delta n is equal to un minus un minus 1. Right? Now suppose I have to correlate un minus 2 with unit step sequence. How can I get un minus 2? With the help of unit step sequence. So the basic is you start with n is equal to 2. Write a sequence, unit step sequence 2. This will be un minus 2. Right? This is un minus 2 plus n and this is minus n. Now you need only one sample at n is equal to 2. Means another sequence which has been shifted by 3 units. Okay, so it starts with this un minus 3. 1, 2, 3 and then it will go up to this side plus n and this will be minus n. Here 0, 0, 0. Here also 0, 0, 0, 0 and so on. Now subtract this minus this. So sample by sample, here 0. Here also it is 0. Now 1, magnitude is 1, here also 1. So 1 minus 0. At 2 you are getting 1. But what about 3? 1 minus 1 0. 1 minus 1 0. 1 minus 1 0. So after 2 you are getting 0 here. So this sequence is nothing but un minus 2 minus un minus 3, and this subtraction will give you a unit sample sequence shifted by 2 unit delta n minus 2. So in this case, this is what we call it as waveform synthesis. What we call it as waveform synthesis in discrete time domain. Now reverse, how un is related with delta n. How un is related with delta n. The question is delta n, how it is related with un. No, this we have solved. How un is related with delta n, right? So first of all, plot un, right? Un 1 1 1 1, it will go up to infinity, plus 0 0 0, it will go up to minus infinity. Now how can we think this un? There is one unit sample sequence, okay? There is one unit sample sequence, okay, and feed it into an input somewhere, right? Then apply a delay of single unit. We represent delay by z inverse. So what we are getting? Delta n minus 1. Then multiply, feed it to this summary. Again apply a delay of 1 unit, delta n minus 2, and then you apply. Last, this process will continue. And what we are getting? This plus this plus this plus this means un, right? So this is hardware implementation, how the un can be formed by delta n. So mathematically, how can we write? Un is equal to, first of all, delta n, this delta n, right? Then this delta n minus 1, delta n minus 1, then delta n minus 2 plus delta n minus 2. It will go up to plus infinity. Okay. So in the chunk notation, we take some dummy variable 0 to infinity delta n minus k. When k is equal to 0, delta n. When k is equal to 1, delta n minus 1. K is equal to 2, delta, and then sum it. So you can get the unit steps. So very important result, un is equal to summation some dummy variable 0 to infinity delta n minus k. And hardware implementation में we need one n input summer, then delay. But if we use single unit delay n times, then it will be very costly affair. So what we did, we used tunable delay. We set 1 unit, then again for 2 unit, then 3 unit, then you apply. The basic concept is to reduce the cost. Okay. So today we shall stop here only. Now tomorrow we shall start with the linear shift invariant system. Thank you all.